All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to LVCIL's Friday Independent Living Skills session. My name is Catherine. I am a quick visual description, sorry. I'm a white female. I have in my mid-30s. I have shoulder-length black hair that I'm wearing down today, and I use she, her pronouns. We'd like to welcome Theo and really thank him for being with us today and sharing. We'll hear a little bit about Theo and his accomplishments so far in life in a few moments. Just quick logistics for today. We are going to record today's session, so we ask that if you are not actively speaking, if you can keep yourself muted, it just helps with the clarity of our recording. We do invite everyone to turn their cameras on, so it's we're looking at faces instead of just black boxes on the screen. Captions are available through Zoom. You can click on the CC live transcript and show subtitles to turn them on. Again, this presentation, like all of our IL programs, are participatory. So we want to hear from you. We want you to join in the conversation and be active listeners and contributors, and we do that by opening up chat for questions or comments or reactions throughout the presentation. We also will have time where you can unmute and come on screen to ask your questions. And just, our time together is about learning and sharing, so please feel free to do that, take notes. Like I said, we are recording, so I can share that recording out after. A quick biography about Theo. Theo W. Braddy graduated from Temple University with his MSW in 1988 and after receiving his BSW from Edinburgh University. At the early age of 15, he became a person with a disability due to a high school football accident that left him paralyzed from the neck down. For over 40 plus years, Mr. Braddy has advocated on behalf of persons with disabilities. He was hired in 1988 as the CEO of the Center for Independent Living of Central Pennsylvania. As CEO, he created an independent living center that has become a strong and growing voice for persons with disabilities. Mr. Braddy has taught at Temple University and Millersville University as an adjunct professor. Two different governors have appointed Mr. Braddy commissioner for the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission. Governor Corbett appointed Braddy to serve on the PA statewide Independent Living Council. In 2021, Governor Wolf appointed Braddy to serve on the State Board of Vocational Rehabilitation and reappointed him again in 2021 to the PA statewide Independent Living Council. Selected by Senator Robert Casey Jr. as one of 4 Black leaders in Pennsylvania who have demonstrated power and persistency in overcoming challenge and creating meaningful change in Pennsylvania. Mr. Braddy was honored by having Senator Casey acknowledge his contributions on the Senate floor at a congressional hearing, presented with a Senate proclamation and a plaque for Mr. Braddy's contributions. He was recognized and celebrated as a Black leader during Senator Casey's Resilience in the Face of Adversity virtual event in February of 2022. Most recently, on September 30th, 2022, President Biden appointed Mr. Braddy to the National Council on Disability. NCD is an independent federal agency that advises the President, Congress, and other federal agencies on policies, programs, practices, and procedures affecting people with disabilities. Mr. Braddy is married to Ravina Braddy, who is an author and playwright. He is also the father of 2 adult children, a daughter, Kimmy Braddy, and a son, Theo Braddy Jr. So again, we welcome him, and I will turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Catherine. I just realized I need to make that more brief. Anyway, thanks you all. Welcome, everyone. I'm looking forward to spending this time talking with you all and encourage you all to ask me anything. I'm very transparent. Nothing I won't talk about. So feel free to ask your questions as I present. But before I get into all of that, let me take a moment to acknowledge your executive director, Amy Beck. Amy, glad to see you. I can count on one hand people that I will call for advice, and Amy is one of those. All right. I look forward to hearing her wisdom. And early on in my career, I spent some time with some leaders in the movement, and they have now become pioneers in in the history books. One of the things I wish somebody would have told me when I was spending all this time with them, that I would have had the opportunity to spend a lot more time asking them questions and soaking up that wisdom. You all got an ED who has all of that. Take advantage of that, all right? Because one day she will be in the history books, all right? So again, welcome, and I will get started. Could I see some shakings of heads that you all can see all of this? Awesome, awesome. So things I learned along the way. I'm just going to go through a bunch of stuff that I wish somebody would have shared with me when I entered into the movement. I really love, I was just telling Catherine this, I really love doing this one because I have picked up some things along the way. And I don't mind sharing that. And so let's get right into it. And again, you got some questions, you can interrupt me, you can raise your hand. Catherine is monitoring the chat as well, so I can stop and answer your questions at will. I want to talk first about my lived experience, and there's a reason I want to talk about this because it's important as I go through some of my life lessons. I became a person with a disability at age 15, right? Playing high school football, game I loved, broke my neck, became a C4, C5 quadriplegic. I was institutionalized in a nursing home for a year. I came back home, single household. We were very poor. I mean, dirt poor. And was no really place for me to be in at home. And my mom couldn't handle taking care of my needs. So I went into a nursing home. And my sister convinced me to come up here about a year later. And I came to Pennsylvania thinking I would get better rehab. My first real taste of not having choice was at age 17 when some orderlies and a nurse forced me to go to bed, and I wanted to be up beyond 7 o'clock, and that they wouldn't have it in that because that would have messed up their routine. So they forced me physically and put me in bed, and that was my wake-up call that, I didn't really have choice as a person with disability. A counselor later on told me I wasn't college material when he asked me what I wanted to do with my life, and I told him I want to go to college, and he pretty much said I wasn't college material. It was only later on that I saw a friend of mine after I left that facility going somewhere early in the morning, and I wondered where she was going. Later on that day when she got back, I asked her, and she told me she was going to community college. I had knew her pretty much for a while, and I figured I was just as smart as she was. And so that's when I really shook off what that counselor told me. But it hit me for about a year, and took me a year to believe something else. Graduated top of class in graduate school at Temple University, and became the CEO, like Catherine mentioned, for over 31 years. Have taught as an adjunct for both Temple University and Millsville University. Retired early in 2019, I believe, and started Theo Braddy Consulting. Again, she pointed out that I have been appointed to serve on the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission, Pennsylvania Statewide Independent Living Council, as well as State Board of Vocational Rehabilitation, where I'm still serving today, and again selected by Senator Casey as one of 4 Black leaders, as well as acknowledged on the Senate floor. And President Biden appointed me just recently to the National Council on Disability. And the reason I really want to tell you this and make a point is this. Counselor told me I wasn't college material. Never, never, never listen to people who tell you what you cannot do. All right, they can haunt you, and it haunted me for a whole year, and I believed in that. Right, and only through watching that my neighbor, go to community college, was I was able to shake off that. And it could have went longer. If that was the case, I never would have been appointed and do all the things I have done over this period of years. That was a point where I shook off that and was able to move on and do some amazing things in my life. So again, your first lesson, don't pay attention to the naysayers. If you have something you want to do in life, go for it. Go for it. Believe in yourself. And hopefully the things I'm going to share right now will help you along the way. First one, defining success. Success is defined as the progressive realization of a predetermined goal. I learned this early in my life, and I always share it. And let me try to explain that a little bit. Again, success is defined as a progressive realization of a predetermined goal, right? The word progressive, you all know this, means steady, gradual, ongoing movement that becomes measurable, something that is measurable, and that word is important. Realization, becoming fully aware of what you are pursuing, what you want to do in life. Predetermined, something established or decided in advance, something you have given intentional thought to. And we don't often do this. We don't really give intentional thought to stuff. In other words, success is the ongoing movement and awareness to what you have given intentional thought to. Right? Very important. Your goals in life. That means if you do it right, your goals, not your dreams, and that's a difference. And I'm going to get into that real quick here, because we often are dreamers, and there is a difference. Vision without goals is fantasy. This is something I often say. Vision without goals is fantasy. Goals without vision quickly become drudgery. But when you have vision and goals, you have a mission in life. And that's when you can really accomplish stuff. Fantasy. These are the dreamers, the one-day people. I know one-day people, and I know you know one-day people. One-day people are those people who say, one day I'm going to get a house. One day I'm going to buy a car. And these are people 50 years old. They're still saying one day they're going to do something. Now, Georgia is just 9 to 5-er, just getting through the day. Like, things can become drudgery, right? If I tell somebody, as I taught in Millsville, and I use this example when one of my students, I would say, every day you came in, I would tell you to pick up that trash can and move it. And they will do that. Next day they come in and pick up that trash can and move it. They will do it. Third day I tell them that, then they're going to start wondering, why is he asking me to pick up this trash can and move it every day? It becomes drudgery, and it becomes drudgery because it's a goal without vision. They don't have the vision of why I'm telling them to pick up that trash can, so they're looking for something else. And that's why you got to have that vision. You just can't have goals. You got to have the vision. Because if you don't have the goals, you You're just a dreamer. But when you got vision and goals, you got something going for you. The main point is you got to write stuff down. You got to give intentional thought to what you do. And I'm saying it again, write it down. More importantly, make it measurable. You got to be measurable. Share it with mentors, people that you respect, that can hold you accountable. And the reason I say that is, and I use this as an example as well, the power of the you said. And the power of the you said goes like this. One day you come to me and you say, I want to, that my wife and I are going to get divorced. And I don't want to divorce her. So what should I do? I want your help. What should I do? All right, I'll do anything. That's what you say to me. I'll do anything. And I work with you and identify the steps and the things that you need to do to get there, to get your wife back, dating her, taking on dates, buying her a gift, listen to what she says, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I ask you to do. And you look at me and you say, that's too hard. I didn't know I would have to do all of this stuff. All right, that's too much work. And then I remind you of what you said. You said you want to not divorce your wife. You wanted to stay with your wife. And it meant everything to you because I heard you say it. So the power that you said is me reminding that person of what they came to me and said. All right. But the work got too hard for them. Right. No one can do it or ever will do it completely by themselves. You need those people to help you and walk with you and take you through stuff. So if anybody ever tell you that they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and they did it all by themselves, they did it alone, guess what? They're lying to you. They're lying to you. Now, we have a lot of motivation. We have a lot of hard work that was built inside of us and we can do the work. But the point is, bottom line is you don't do it by yourself. Another one. Don't be quick to speak. It can be more important to listen. Being silent can sometimes be considered as wisdom, being wise. But then you open up your mouth and you quickly blow it. People see you as who you are. So listen more than you speak. That's why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Sometimes it's just more important to quietly listen until you get it. My son is this way. I be telling him stuff, and I can see it in his mind and his eyes that he's already trying to think of a reply instead of just listening to what I'm trying to say in part. We're just too quick to speak sometimes instead of listening. Now, I know this is stuff you probably have heard, and but I'm telling you, it's stuff that we hear but rarely ever apply it in our work, in our day-to-day lives. And it's so important to just be intentional, again, about these things. Sometimes your battles don't need to be fought by you. Another real important lesson that I have learned. Sometimes your battles don't need to be fought by you. You can live your life in such a way that when someone says something evil or bad about you, others will come to your defense. I've lived this out over and over again. This is a support one. There's those who matter and know you, right? They will also help you and come to your defense when you are being attacked. If you live your life in such a way that you have developed that character that others can see, And that character that's really important. Now, if you haven't, that's another story. And one way to live that way and develop your character is to do what you say. Your words that comes out of your mouth should match up to what you do. It is so easy to say stuff. It rolls off our tongue so easily to say stuff. The more important stuff, though, that demonstrate that you have character is when what you say matches up with your actions, your behavior. And again, I know some of you all probably know this stuff, but are you living it in every way, action in your life? And when you're young, when you're developing your career, this stuff is so important. Understand the importance of certain words and living it out. We'll continue to build the type of character that I'm talking about. And these are some of my favorite words. And I got a bunch of them, but these are some of my favorites, and I'm going to share those with you. Be accountable. Be accountable. Willingness to accept responsibility for one's action. Be accountable. Being responsible. Answerable. Accountable for something within one's power, within your control. And most of the things that we rose out of our mouths, we have control over it. We decide not to do it. That is a decision that we make. For whatever reason, we make that decision to not be responsible. Sometimes, they'll forget about it. Right? We sometimes depend on the other person's forgetting about what we say. Reliability, right? Able to be a trusted person consistently. And that word is very important. Consistently demonstrating that you are a trustworthy person. Now, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. But you can often maintain your trustworthiness by confessing when you fall, when you slip, or when you're not doing something that you promised to do, in regard to just even being late or early or late to work, or promising someone you're going to do something and we don't follow that up with an apology or saying that, we should try to do better next time. Little simple stuff like that will restore our accountability, our responsibility, our reliability by admitting, yeah, I made a mistake. I missed the goal. I told you I was going to get this report done, and I missed that due date. I'm going to learn from that, and I'll do better. When you can say that, you restore your accountability, you restore your responsibility, you restore your reliability, because you fessed up and now you have a clean slate. But we forego that. We don't do that. We just believe someone's going to forgive us and let it go. And we don't let stuff go. We hold on to that stuff because what we're doing is developing a character of that person, right? We store that. Okay, that person is not accountable. All right, I can't depend on that person. We might not even say that to you, but we are developing the character that we have of you by what you do, because your words don't match up to your action. You said you would get that report in on time, but you didn't do that. And now this word sums it all up. Being dependable, capable of being trusted and depended on. And finally, a word that encompasses all of these: integrity. Integrity. It includes everything above. And again, I'm saying matches up with what you say. Your words matches up with what you do. That's my definition of integrity. You won't find that in a dictionary, but that's my definition of integrity. What comes out of your mouth matches up with what you do. And if you can maintain that consistency, that integrity, then you're a person who can, in my mind, have integrity. Another major life lesson: don't be afraid of challenges. Don't be afraid of challenge. The key to a challenge is preparation. Prepare. Over-prepare. Over-prepare. It's amazing what preparation will do to someone being nervous. All right? It creates confidence. Do the work. If you got a challenge, do the work. The famous philosopher Kevin Hart said, everybody want to be famous. Nobody want to do the work. You got to put in the work. I am so serious about that. You got to work harder than everybody else. Everybody else want to get there, but nobody want to do the work. They want to be the head, but nobody want to do the work. They want to be the decision maker, but nobody want to do the work. And everybody, this is another little flip, teachable moment I put in there. Everybody believe they can do it better than you. Everybody. They're not where you at. They're not where the position that you're at, but they believe they can do and make better decisions than you. Learn right now to deal with that. Challenges are opportunities. If you look at these challenges, opportunities to grow and be and meet those challenges, then I love challenges. I really do. Bottom line, everybody don't have high expectations of me anyway, which becomes a motivation for me. And I'm probably preaching to the choir here. If you're a person with a disability or you work with people, everybody have low expectations of us. Your worst enemy is becoming comfortable. Now, caveat, unless it's a good comfort. And I'll explain that. But never get comfortable. Right? When you get too comfortable in a job, and be honest, Amy, since you're on here, reason I left my job at the center early, it was because it became too easy for me. It became too comfortable for me, and I needed a challenge. And so I decided to retire. It just got too easy for me. I didn't want it to be a 9 to 5, because I say that to so many people, and I found myself doing it. And so I wasn't living in integrity. I was telling people to do stuff that I wasn't willing to do. So, and I was becoming comfortable in my job. So it was time for me to go and do something else that was going to challenge me. Now, explaining good comfort, and that is healthy anxiety, something that pushes you through, right? Everybody think this anxiety is bad for you. It's not necessarily. If you're at a comfort level, right? And I use public speaking as a good example of that. You get all this anxiety, something you don't want to do. But the reason you got that anxiety is because you think you're going to be bad at it, but you still need to push through that and get that level of being comfortable in public speaking. So you push through that. And that's how you grow. Right? When something used to cause you anxiety and it doesn't anymore, guess what? You have grown. And then so you meet that next level of healthy anxiety. Because you always want to grow. You always want to be, you don't want to get comfortable with that one. You always want to help push through that healthy anxiety, you becoming better at it, to become an expert at it. So if something causes you that anxiety that you know you need to add to your plate, push through it and become comfortable or expert at that. That is good anxiety. Another life lesson. Be careful not to let other people's mistakes go unchecked. Deal with it the first time. And this is probably for mostly leaders and supervisors, right? Because anything left unchecked or undealt with, allow that person to produce more of it, right? It just become more of it. Example of that again would be someone coming in late. If you don't deal with it, guess what? The next time they're going to come in later. Because we do that. So if you don't deal with something the first time, especially when it's a bad habit, people will always take advantage of that. Give them the green light. So always deal with it in a way that stops that behavior. Don't let stuff go unchecked. Now, I know sometimes people can take that the wrong way, but that's okay. Because I don't expect people to do anything that I have not already done or doing. If I'm there early, you should be there early. And the other staff are coming in early or on time, then you should be coming early or on time, at least on time. You can't let that stuff like that go, bottom line. Again, that's demonstrating and building your character and helping others develop good habits and good character. If you let it go, guess what? You're not helping. They might not see it that way, but you're not. Anything left unfronted will produce much more of itself, like I said. You're not learning from the mistakes. And it will certainly happen again. We learn when we handle things the right way. Handle it the right way. Always take a pause. Right? Always take a pause. Learn from the mistakes. What did we learn? My staff I used to drive my staff crazy about this. Whenever someone failed at something, whenever someone did something, right? We huddle up. And the first question comes out of my mouth, what did we learn so it does not happen again? Right? Everybody's going to fumble the ball every now and then. But what did you learn from it? Huddle up, figure it out, so we can improve upon it. It doesn't mean that we won't fumble the ball another time. But if we learn, we take that pause, we learn from it, that eventually we will get to the end zone. We'll make that touchdown. Because we huddled up and we figured it out and made a better play. Another one, very important. People often look at failure the wrong way. Very similar to what I just said. Some people actually fear failure. But failure really do have a bad rap, right? Because one incident of failure can stop a person from pursuing their dreams, their goals in life, right? You can just stop it. It stopped me for a whole year because I believed that counselor. We learn when we handle things the right way. When you start looking at failure as a doorway to success, you are better prepared for the next problem, because the next problem will always come. All right? An obstacle or a setback. You might have heard this one before. A setback is just a setup for a comeback. A setback is just a setup for a comeback. It prepares you to come back better. If you pause, if you evaluate. Because if you don't do that, guess what? And I know you heard this one. We repeat stuff over and over and over again because we never learn from our mistakes. What did we learn? Again, how do we improve it the next time? Very important. All right, we need to look at failure a different way, helping us to be better. That's why failure has a bad rap. Because ain't nobody, and I'm sure Amy will tell you this, nobody makes it to anything important in regard to the next level without making mistakes. But the key, though, is learning from the mistakes. You're definitely going to make some mistakes. Question is whether you're going to learn from it. People work very hard to be successful, but don't understand the importance of failure as it relates to them being successful. A lot of great leaders will talk about this. Good read on this one would be John Maxwell. If you never read his books, get it. Get some of his books. Talks about failure a lot more extensively than I can ever do it. Again, remember that a setback is just a setup for a comeback. Always take a pause after a failure or a setback. Examine it, analyze it. What did I learn? So many people will not do this. And it's really simple. It really is. But very few people do it. To just run through a failure, run through a mistake, and never learn from it. Very important with grant writing. I know Amy can talk about that. When you lose a grant, we don't get a grant, talk to the people, ask them what you did wrong. So the next time you write that same grant or another grant very similar to it, you know what not to do or what to do. Because you want to learn from your failures. Another one, planning your day. Make God smile. This is a big one. This is going to help your character. It's going to help your sense of humor. It just, anybody got any responsibilities, right? Know the quote that man make plans, but God laughs at it. I'm telling you, because we have all these things we think we're going to do in a day, and we get in and things go wrong. Something happens. When you know this, when you have that expectation that, something is always going to happen. So when it happens, it don't catch you off guard. Right? Because you're looking forward to your plans going astray. Now that's a hard thing to learn in life, but it will help you. It really will, because everything goes wrong. Now, I'm not telling you not to plan. I'm just telling you to expect, be ready for something to happen to throw that plan off. So have some options. Planning your day. Because I don't want to tell you all not to plan. You really do. Planning is very important. Writing things down is planning your day. I just want you to understand that stuff happens. Just throw you off a little bit. I put this in. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. I love that. That's a quote from Mike Tyson. Right? We always have these plans until something happens. But you got to be able to take a punch. Right? Don't be surprised. You got to be able to take that punch. Things don't always go according to plans. All right, next lesson. I'm moving fast. You can accomplish some amazing things in life. This is an important one for me. I learned this. I learned this probably about 25 years ago. You can accomplish some amazing things in life if you don't care who gets the credit. Right? We all want to get credit for the great things that we accomplish, but sometimes that can be a hindrance. Because what happens if you don't get the credit? Sometimes we just need to focus on the doing, regardless of who gets the credit or not. Right? A life's being changed based on what you're doing. So often our motivation to do good work is conditional. Because if you don't get that credit, you do what? Right? Will I get the recognition? And if we don't, we say stuff like this. You know, will I get the recognition? Is somebody going to acknowledge me? And if you don't, then you don't want to do it. They won't see me again. That's the last time I'm going to do that. These are all things that stop us from doing what we know will improve or help someone's life. And it hinders our development. I put all that work in and never got any credit. Nobody mentioned my name. I know that's a hard one because some people love to hear their names. It took me a while to get this one. Whether you mention my name or not, there are people in my life that know what I did. Right? God knows what I did. And so I'm okay with that. But it took me a while to get it. No one ever thanked or mentioned my name once. That get us stuck. That will stop us from doing something the next time. You got to ask yourself, are your lives being changed based on what you did, based on how you had a part in it? Shouldn't that be enough? Shouldn't that be your motivation? And again, it's hard to get to this place, but what drives you? If you can go through life and do stuff and accomplish things, you can do some amazing stuff. I have accomplished and had a hand in stuff that no one have never acknowledged my part in. And it doesn't matter to me. Because I know what I did. I'm okay with that. And some other people who are close to me know what I did. And I'm okay with that. So don't be so concerned about who gets the credit and see what happens to you. All right. Some words just create division from the start. Words. Again, we're getting back to words. It's not always easy, but we need to be mindful of certain words we use that automatically set the stage for division, right? And there's more words that I'm telling you right here, but this is just something I have lived out. One of those words is them, those people. Another one, those people, they. These are words that separate right from the start. We don't even know we're doing it, but we were separating. Typically, often people without disabilities will use these words. And they say those people, and as they say it, I feel the division because they're not including themselves. We become less than. We become something else, non-deserving. And whenever you use those words, we separate, we create division. I know I might be picky here, but I'm telling you, if you ever been in this movement as long as I have, these words can be very demeaning. And often when people, especially politicians, especially people of influence, right? They will say stuff. There go those people again, protesting, demonstrating. That means something. That's a mindset. They don't see themselves, or they don't see us as being inclusive. Again, words like most vulnerable. Politicians use this word a lot, these words a lot. Right? I cringe when I hear it because, you know, if you look up the definition of vulnerable, it means frail. Right? People who can't do or need help. And don't get me wrong, we all need help. I always talk to you about that. You know, we don't do any of this stuff independently. We're all interdependent. But when we use these words in a way that demeans and talks about people as not being inclusive, then we need to watch that. We need to be concerned about that. We need to pull those words back in our everyday use and try to be more conscious of empowering words, inclusive words, as we write, as we deal with people on a day-to-day basis. It's other ones, but I'm just going to stick to those because those are the ones that make me cringe. Okay, this is a good one. Living independently doesn't mean you are living well independently. And in this work, in this field that we do, we got to be conscious of that because sometimes we can grab hold on a word and a philosophy, and we think it's the word that means all, and it really doesn't sometimes. Right? Often a mistake is made when people are seeking independent living for people with diverse disabilities, and they get that, and they're living, right? They meet that goal of moving out into an apartment. You know, I know you all do great work at transition, nursing home transition, and you're probably not doing this, and I'm glad you're not, but sometimes people meet that goal and they leave those individuals, right? And living independently in the community doesn't mean people needs are being met and addressed in a community, because moving out of nursing home is just one part of it, right? There are many more things that need to be addressed. And often people are left alone to deal with those things. Yes, they're now out of the institution and living in the community, but are they living well in the community independently? We got to go beyond that thinking, right? Because living well means different things to different people. But when it comes to determine what that means to a person with disability, that person with disability must have a say. And I know you all know this because I know Amy, right? People got to have a say in that. You know, we can't get to the point where we're not listening to people, where they're coming from, where they're starting from. As we go through different phases of our life, even, living well means different things, right? Getting out of nursing home might mean one thing, but as you know, when I was growing up, living well meant, right? Living by myself. I got older, it became getting a job, right? And further in, it became, getting married. And then it became having a family. So if you would have asked me different phases of my life, it would have meant something different. Each phase of that life. Now it's about giving back more than anything else. Having the opportunity to do that more than anything else. Right? That's how I enter into, my phase of life of, riding off into the sunset. I have different, it means different things to me. Don't forget the most important thing in working with people with diverse disability, which is looking beyond an independent setting, or meeting a goal, and looking into their desires and aspirations in life. And an independent setting is important. It really is. But bigger question, is the person happy? Is that person connected to his and her community? Is he doing the things that make them happy? Not the things well-intended folks believe that make them happy, right? Because we have some good intentional folks out there that want to help us. They got great intentions, but sometimes those intentions can go the wrong way. You got a lot of people that want to help, but sometimes those people that want to help are trapped in that thinking, and they want to do good, but their good is not inclusive. Their good is not helping you in the long run. Okay. Next one. Be a guide for people with your knowledge. Be a guide. Don't become another level of independence, right? Someone who all of a sudden you create another level of dependence, right? But be a guide. Your knowledge, your resources, right? Build that up so to the point where it just overflows out of you. And sometimes you don't even know it because you got this stuff in you that just got to comes out, and it comes out at the right time, helping the right folk. Because you have built up this wealth of knowledge, and the overflow help people. So do your work. Again, do the work. It's very important to do the work. You must educate yourself in order to be a guide for others. Again, not to create a level of dependency on you. There's power through knowledge. We all know that. All right? We don't know what we don't know, though. And the more we learn, the more we realize how much more there is to learn. And that was a hard lesson for me. But the more I've learned in this world, the more I realize how much more I need to learn. And I'm just on the tip of the iceberg of stuff. So life is that lifelong education of learning stuff. So don't ever stop that. Next one. It can be easy sometimes to take your eyes off your mission statement. Now, this is one of those things that somebody should be saying amen. All right. Remember the mission. Right? It's so much out there, right? It's so much money out there. It can seduce you. And all of a sudden you're taking your eyes off what you intended to do. And not only in agency, but even in life. Right? You go at the money and all of a sudden you find yourself not happy. But sticking to this one though, you find yourself leaving what your intentional mission was all about. So always remember to use your mission as a guide. If it's within your mission, go for it. If it isn't, maybe you should be taking that money. Now, this was a hard one. Again, I did a center for 31 years. I'm sure Amy could speak on this as well. It's hard to say no to funding. It really is. If it turns you into something else, you got to be cautious about it. You got to be cautious about it. Again, this is stuff that helped me. Maybe it helped you. I don't know. Maybe you don't have the problem like I have. Maybe you're a better person than me. Money can be very enticing. And you got to work at that one. I have learned that it serves me better to be more people driven versus bottom line driven. Right? That's something that helped my center. And I used to battle my directors on this one. Sometimes we just got to do good to do good. Sometimes the things that matters the most is not always going to be fundable. That we got to, supplement it just to keep it going because it does such good for people. And that's what the mission should be all about. Yeah, it ain't making money. Right? Not making money. And an example of that is when we started a fitness center that was designed specifically for people with disabilities. It wasn't making money. But health was so important for people with disabilities because the regular fitness centers, well, they wasn't offering it. They wasn't offering it because none of their equipment was accessible. Yeah, we could advocate for it, but how you know how long that takes? So we did it. It wasn't making no money, but it was just something that was helping people. Right? So sometimes the decisions on how we spend our money, it can't be bottom line driven. It got to be about people. Just people. It's hard. It is. Because I know we need money to do programs. We need money to stay alive. We need money to keep our doors open. But sometimes it ain't about keeping our doors open. It's just about, well, this ain't making money. We got the money. It just, we don't want to spend it on people. Hope this is making sense. Not everyone who wants the partnership with you shares your mission. That's another caution. All right? Some people don't share your mission. So if they don't, don't go to bed with them. Because don't partner with them. Because you can turn into something else. And not every board member or staff member share your mission. All right. And this is something maybe on down the road when you're gonna be in a position to eventually in your life to remember this one. Not everybody share your desire or believe like you believe, right? And that becomes difficult if that person have significant power or influence in your organization. So I always go back to the mission. Whenever I need to defend something, I go back to the mission. Is it part of our mission to do this or that? Okay, I'm getting close here. A few things I've learned from my mentors. Ed Roberts. Some of you probably are aware of him, some might not, but learn about him. All right. I learned from him when I met him. And again, I wish somebody would have told me this when I was around these people, that they would go on to be pioneers. I would have spent more time I will listen a little bit more intently. But he taught me being your own best advocate, right? He taught me if something affects you as a person with disability, most likely it's going to affect others. So use that as a gauge. Let it guide your advocacy. Something I'm going through, and I see that I got to fight and battle, I guarantee you it's going to be happening to another person with a disability, but that person with that disability might not be as effective as I am in getting things done. So I need to be able to help that person, or, so that's when it becomes systemic. He taught me not to lose that loving feeling, because we can do that. I lost that loving feeling running the Center for Independent Living of Central PA. I knew it was time for me to move on. Right? I got too comfortable. Right? I still work and do things, but now them things are challenging to me, and it got my juices flowing again, and I regained that loving feeling. And so I'm excited again about doing stuff. I learned from Justin Dart to do the work. Put in the work. Again, Kevin Hart said, everybody want to be famous. Nobody want to do the work. We got to put in the work. Chris Forbick, do things with excellence. Right? Don't lower your standards. So when you have standards and expectations, you don't lower the bar. You ensure that your staff rise up to the bar. Never lowers the bar. Don't lower the bar so somebody can meet that standard that you have established. No. You put the resources in, you put the training in, and you give your staff whatever they need, but they got to rise up to the bar of excellence. Don't lower your excellence. Maggot trees. What you do should matter. It should be measurable. This is something that really helped me. And Amy is great at this when she writes grants. It got to be measurable. Right? You should be able to see concrete changes and outcomes, to know that what you did was impactful, that it's changing lives. Right? That's what I got from my mentors. All right, Catherine, we're here. You're here. So let me stop that. Get back to the people, and hopefully you all got some questions.
All right, we'll open it up. If anybody has a question, if you guys want to unmute and ask your question, go ahead.
Hi, Theo. It's Brian. Good to see you again.
Hey.
I just wanted to ask you maybe you could describe what you're doing with your new position that the president appointed to you.
I'm very excited about it, right? Again, what I was saying, in regard to things that you're going through in life, right? You use that as a gauge to do other stuff. And there's some things that I know I have had difficult with. One of them is, home and community-based services, tender care services. Man, we got to do something about that, right? So that's going to be one of my primary things that I'm going to try to work on and get the president's ear, get Congress' ear, to really increase funding. Direct care workers, they need a higher wage. They need benefits, right? Get some stuff that's sitting on my mind. A lot of these immigrants, direct care workers, coming in the country and, don't have jobs, right? They want something to do. They want some steady income, why can't we use that, right? Make that available to them, right? Sometimes they need even places to stay when they come into this country, right? And I don't know about everybody, but I would love to have someone that stays here in my home and will be available, and so, there's some things that we can do to all these people who are displaced and don't have jobs. At the same time, we have a shortage of direct care workers, right? And that could be a stepping stone for a lot of displaced people who are coming to this country. And I think that's something we really need to consider if we can eliminate some of the red tape that someone has to go through in order to get these jobs. Transportation, we know about that. Now, I don't believe Lyft or Uber need to be doing anything in any state if they don't have an alternate program for people with disabilities to have accessible, affordable transportation. That's a big one. Durable medical equipment, in regard to this is a push to make the elevation of wheelchairs. You don't have to pay out of pocket. I have to pay out of pocket every time I get that feature to my chair. Medicare should pay for that. Private insurance should pay for that. Right? It should be included. It should not, people with disabilities shouldn't have to decide, on that feature and go without that feature. Those are a few things that I know that affect me that I'm going to push for change. And there's a bunch of other ones. I can talk all day on this stuff. But I'm looking forward to it, Brian. I really am. There's so much that people with influence and power don't know, right, about living with a disability, because most of them don't have, that experience, right? And so able-bodied people make able-bodied policies, right? They make able-bodied laws and so forth, and that often don't have the input of people who live this stuff day to day, right? And so we got to be at the table. We got to say this is what's important, right? And I shared that same thought with Senator Casey, right? When he asked me, what can we do better? And I said, put some people with influence in these positions that have disabilities and let them be at the table. He was the first politician that really took me up on it.
Theo, it's Amy. Thank you for your kind words. I feel very humbled.
Oh, well, I don't say something I don't mean.
Thank you.
You know that. And so,
I gotta say first, I'm loving the blue glasses.
what you say?
Color glasses here.
Oh, okay. Thank you. My daughter got these for me. I don't have that kind of taste.
So I just wanted to ask you, you said I could ask anything.
Uh-huh.
So a while, I don't know how long it's been, 15 years maybe, you dealt with a serious health issue.
Uh-huh.
And I just wonder, how is the medical community dealing with those of us with disabilities? Because sometimes when you go in with I wonder, is my experience the same as it would be if it was a person who didn't have an identified disability? Are they recently in the middle of going through after I went through chemo and radiation, it was like, it's time for your colonoscopy because you haven't had enough fun yet. So I had that done and everything was okay, a little blip on it. And, the doctor, everything comes back great in the pathology. And he's like, yeah, we don't, I would say, unless you have any other health issues, probably 10 years. Then my family doctor looked at the results and said, well, the standard of care would be 2 to 3 years for what your report was. So I wondered, and I have to talk with that doctor office. I just found this out recently. You're like, why don't you, where's their standard of care? Did it change for me? And of course I'll advocate for what I need, but I was just wondering like what your experience was. Like that was a little while back for you, but like,
No, and getting back to Brian's question, that really relates to what Brian asked me as well. Health equity is one of the major problems in this country of people with disabilities, right? And that means a lot of things. One is doctors are just not educated. They are not educated. They just have, there's just like a lot of, able-bodied people who don't know stuff. And they're trained with a lot of biases, a lot of misconceptions. All right. And they take that misinformation to their jobs, right? And they treat people with disabilities that unfairly. And they do have a lot of misassumptions about people with disabilities in their care. And they use that because they're human beings. So it needs a lot of education. Matter of fact, that's one of the things the National Council on Disability is working on. You got a report, and you go to the site and read it. And it outlined a number of things that must be done. And education of medical professionals is one of them. It's the key in regard to development of curriculum that they can go through, which will be mandatory to get them more educated in regard to how to really care and provide medical care for people with diverse disabilities. Because you go into that office as a patient with disabilities, they have to make a quick assumption about you. And you can't do that with a person with disability, right? Because, they're making that assumption based on healthy people, able-bodied people, and you can't do that. And you can't really sum up all the medical history of a person with disabilities who has all of these diverse issues and thing on, and they don't take the time because they got to move on to the next person. And so a lot of stuff get lost, right? That's very important for them to hear about. Because again, all these misconceptions, they don't even know most of the time the weight of a person with a disability, right? They don't even get that because ain't nobody got no way of accessible to determine the weight of a person with a disability who uses a wheelchair, for example. And so they got to guess and estimate of what that is. And so it's a bunch of things that is going on. And even to go back to what you said about the colonoscopy, I haven't had one. I have 3 attempts to have one, and I can't. Because I can't, as a quadriplegic, I can't put down that large amount of fluid. And so even at this point right now, I'm trying to work with my physician, my family physician, to come up with a way to do it. And I just got off the phone, matter of fact, trying to do that. And so it took 3 years for them to realize that they're gonna have to put something down my throat to get that liquid in me, right? Otherwise, I won't be clean enough to get that colonoscopy. And so, and there's all kind of people out there with this type of problem, including people that really can't communicate well to tell their story and their history, right? And doctors don't take the time to learn that. They make a lot of assumptions, and so forth. So to answer your question, that area needs a lot of work, even accessible tables and examining tables in physician office, that's one of the things that, we're going to make mandatory, because of the technology got to be accessible, going to the dentist, we know about that, they don't have any accessible tables, right? And then, and how do you transfer a person with a disability, and they don't have the staff to do that, right? And so to give really good physical examination. There's a number of things you got to do, especially if you're a woman. And so a lot of that stuff don't get done. Amy, you know this. And so health equity is a major thing that we got to push for and make some major changes to ensure that people with all types of disabilities just don't go home with misdiagnosis and bad treatment plans. So,
Discussion.
yeah, so I wish I could give you a really good answer, but I'm telling you right now, it's a challenge, and that's going to be one of my areas that I'm going to be pushing. So if you got a question, I will definitely answer if you still got time.
I'm glad we recorded it because I think Catherine could definitely make our other team members aware. I think it's valuable. Life lessons.
Awesome. And the life lessons are constantly changing. I've added stuff onto this stuff. So you put it out there as much as you can. Again, young people coming into this area of work need to know a lot of the stuff that I shared. And a lot of other stuff that I didn't share. Yeah.
Well, we'd love to have you come back and share the stuff you didn't share. We got a ton of people that could use it.
Yeah. Amen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Theo.
My pleasure.